Let me ask you something. How many times have you known you were capable of more, but you stopped yourself? You had the idea, the dream, the fire, but then the voice in your head whispered, not now, not you, not good enough. We've all been there. We talk ourselves out of the very opportunities that could change our lives. We don't need anyone else to block our path. We do it to ourselves every single day. And here's the truth. The only thing standing between who you are right now and who you're meant to become is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't. But imagine this for a moment. What would your life look like if you stopped holding back? If you stopped shrinking? If you stopped waiting for the right time and actually stepped into your power today? Because there are truths, 15 of them, that can shatter those invisible chains. And when you embrace them, you'll no longer be at war with yourself. You'll step into growth, into freedom, into the life that deep down you've always known was waiting for you. Awaken the audience's attention with a bold, challenging statement that shakes them out of comfort. Most people don't even realize how asleep they are while wide awake. They go through the motions day after day, convincing themselves that this is just how life is supposed to be. Wake up, work, scroll, complain, go to bed, repeat. And yet inside there's a scream, a whisper, a fire. They know they're made for more. But here's the kicker. They keep hitting the snooze button on their own potential. They keep silencing that voice that's begging them to rise. Think about this. What if the biggest problem in your life is not the lack of opportunity, not the lack of resources, not even the people who said you couldn't, but the fact that you've settled into a rhythm so comfortable it feels like safety, when in reality it's slowly killing your spirit. Comfort doesn't just make you lazy, it makes you blind. It convinces you that this is enough, that you should be grateful, that you shouldn't want more, because wanting more feels greedy. It feels risky. It feels like too much. And that's the lie that keeps millions of people stuck. I want you to wake up right now, not tomorrow, not when things get easier, not when you have more money, more time, more courage. I mean, right now, in this moment. Because if you can't break out of your own trance, life will pass you by while you're waiting for permission to live it. So let me ask you directly, how many dreams have you buried because you told yourself someday? How many times did you hold back from saying what you really felt, from chasing what you really wanted, from becoming who you really are, because the fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of standing out was louder than the hunger inside you? You see, people think they need motivation. They think they need inspiration. But what they actually need is a jolt to their nervous system, a moment that shakes them so hard they can never go back to sleepwalking again. That's why right now, I'm not here to whisper you awake. I'm here to shout, to rattle, to rip the covers off the excuses you've been hiding under. Because life is not waiting for you. Life doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't pause because you're scared. Every single day you hesitate, someone else is seizing the opportunity you left on the table. Every single day you play small, someone else is playing full out, building the life you dream of while you're still thinking about whether or not it's possible. And let's be honest, deep down you know this. That's why you feel restless. That's why you feel that pull in your gut that says, I was meant for something more than this. That's not an accident. That's not wishful thinking. That's the truth trying to break through the walls you've built around yourself. But it will never break through if you keep padding those walls with fear, with excuses, with stories about why you're not ready yet. The reality is you are ready. You've always been ready. You're just waiting for someone to wake you up. But nobody's coming to do it for you. Not your parents, not your boss, not your friends. You have to decide that today is the day you stop pressing snooze on your life. You have to decide that enough is enough. And here's the thing, when you finally open your eyes, really open them, you'll see that the life you want isn't out of reach. It's been sitting in front of you the whole time, waiting for you to notice. But you can't notice anything when you're half asleep, drifting through your days, convincing yourself you'll get serious tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. There's only right now. There's only this moment. And this moment is begging you to wake up, die. Every single one of us has a war going on inside our heads. And the crazy thing is, most of the time we don't even realize it. We tell ourselves these little stories so quietly, so subtly, that they start to sound like facts. I'm not good enough. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I'm too young. I'm too old. Do you see what's happening? You don't need an enemy out there trying to stop you because you've become the enemy to yourself. You're fighting battles against your own beliefs before the world even has a chance to challenge you. Think about this. How many times have you had an idea, a dream, a vision, and in the same breath, you killed it? You didn't even give it a chance to breathe. You shut it down with one thought, what if I fail? Or worse, what if people laugh at me? And the moment that thought takes over, you don't just lose the dream, you lose the part of yourself that believed it was possible. You bury it, you hide it, you pretend it didn't matter. But it mattered because every time you do that, you teach your brain that your doubts are stronger than your potential. Here's the truth, limiting beliefs are nothing but lies that you've practiced so many times they feel like truth. They're habits of thought. Maybe you picked them up from your parents. Maybe a teacher told you you'd never amount to much. Maybe a friend laughed when you said you wanted something big. Maybe you tried once, failed, and you decided that failure defined you. But those beliefs are not reality, they're cages. They keep you locked in a version of yourself that's smaller than who you really are. And the worst part, you defend them. You argue for your limitations as if your life depends on it. You say, well, that's just the way I am, or that's just not possible for someone like me. Really? Who decided that? Who made that rule? Because I can tell you right now, it wasn't written in the sky. It wasn't carved in stone. It wasn't part of your DNA. You decided it or you accepted it from someone else. And now you're living it like it's gospel. But let's be real. The only thing those beliefs are doing is keeping you safe from risk, safe from failure, safe from judgment. But safe is not the same as alive. Safe is not the same as fulfilled. Safe is the slowest form of death because it keeps you breathing but robs you of living. So the question is, how much longer are you to let these lies control you? How much longer will you let fear run the show? Every time you hear that voice say, I can't, what if instead you asked, what if I can? Every time you hear, it's impossible. What if instead you said, then I'll find a way? Every time you feel that doubt creeping in, what if you recognized it not as truth, but as a signal that you're about to grow, that you're about to step into territory that matters? Because here's the thing, those beliefs are not fixed. They are not permanent. They are not who you are. They're patterns. And the moment you start breaking those patterns, the moment you stop rehearsing the same old story, you begin to write a new one. A story where you're no longer the one holding yourself back, but the one breaking through. A story where your potential is finally louder than your fear. And deep down, you already know that version of you exists. You've felt it before. In those moments of courage, in those flashes of clarity, where you thought, I can do this. That's the real you. That's the truth. Everything else is just noise. You've been rehearsing for too long. It's time to confront it. It's time to stop giving power to beliefs that were never yours to begin with, because the only thing they've ever done is keep you small. You know what's crazy? Every single person in this room, every single person listening right now has so much more inside them than they've ever shown the world. I'm not talking about a little bit more. I mean oceans, mountains, galaxies of potential that never see the light of day. And it's not because you don't want it. It's not because you're not capable. It's because somewhere along the way, you built walls around yourself, walls made out of fear, out of doubt, out of excuses. Think about when you were a kid, nobody had to convince you to dream. Nobody had to remind you to be bold. You didn't sit there worrying about whether you had enough experience to build a sandcastle. You didn't wonder if other kids would laugh at you for running around pretending to be a superhero. You just went for it. You didn't care if it looked messy. You didn't care if it failed. You were alive. You were expressive. You were limitless. That spark is still inside you. It didn't die. It just got buried under years of fear and judgment and conditioning. But here's the problem: life has a way of teaching us to shrink. Someone told you to sit down, to be quiet, to stop being unrealistic. Someone laughed when you shared your dream. Maybe you took a risk once and it didn't work out the way you hoped. And that little voice inside whispered, see, I told you, better play it safe from now on. And slowly, piece by piece, you started building excuses. You started saying things like, it's not the right time. I don't have the money. I don't have the skills. I don't know the right people. And the truth is, those aren't really excuses. They're just shields. They're shields you've built to protect yourself from pain, from rejection, from disappointment. But here's the brutal reality. The same shields that protect you from pain also block you from your potential. You can't armor yourself against failure without also shutting out success. You can't play safe and small and expect to feel alive. Let's get real here. When you lay your head down at night, when the world gets quiet and there's nobody else to impress, you feel it, don't you? That pull, that ache, that sense that there's something in you that you're not using. That voice that says, I was made for more, and maybe you try to ignore it. You distract yourself with work, with scrolling, with business, but it doesn't go away. It's there every single day, haunting you, reminding you of what you could be if you stopped holding back. And let me tell you this, you are not broken for feeling that way. You are not weak for having fear. You are human. Every person you admire, every person you've ever looked at and thought, wow, they're incredible, they felt the same fear. The difference is they stopped letting it drive the car. They heard the excuses, they heard the doubts, but they chose to act anyway. They chose to believe in the potential inside them instead of the walls around them. The truth is, you don't need to become someone else. You don't need to find something outside of you to make you enough. You already are enough. You already have what it takes. What you need is the courage to peel back the layers of fear and doubt that have been covering up the real you for years. What you need is the willingness to look those excuses in the eye and say, no more. You don't get to run my life anymore. Because underneath all of it, the fear, the doubt, the excuses, there's a version of you that is powerful beyond measure. There's a version of you that knows what it wants, that's not afraid to chase it, that's unstoppable. And you felt glimpses of that version of yourself before. Maybe in a moment of bravery, maybe in a moment where you surprised yourself, maybe in a time where you had no choice but to rise. That's who you really are. That's who you've always been. The only question is, Are you finally ready to let that version of you out? Every time you hesitate, every time you hold back, every time you silence that voice inside you that's screaming for more, you pay a price. And it's not just a little price, it's your life. It's the years slipping away while you wait for the perfect moment. It's the dreams that rot inside you because you never gave them a chance to breathe. It's the regret that builds up quietly in the background until one day it hits you like a tidal wave and you realize time doesn't give refunds. We all think we have more time. That's the biggest illusion. We tell ourselves, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start next week. I'll change when things calm down, when the kids are older, when I have more money, when I feel more confident. But here's the reality: life doesn't wait for your schedule. Life doesn't pause while you get ready. Life keeps moving. And every day you delay, you're not just standing still, you're moving backwards. Because the world keeps going, opportunities keep passing, and the gap between who you are and who you're meant to be keeps getting wider. Picture this for a second. Imagine it's years from now, and you look back on this exact moment. Will you remember the fear that stopped you, or will you remember the leap you finally took? Because the pain of failure is temporary, but the pain of regret can last a lifetime. I've spoken to people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, and do you know what they talk about the most? Not the things they tried and failed at. They talk about the things they never tried, the words they never said, the opportunities they never took. That's the stuff that eats away at your soul. That's the weight that becomes unbearable. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, it's not that bad, I'm fine, my life is okay, I want you to really think about that word, fine. Fine is the most dangerous word in the English language. Fine is not joy. Fine is not fulfillment. Fine is not passion. Fine is numbness disguised as comfort. Fine is a slow leak in the tire of your soul, draining you day by day until one day you wake up flat and you don't even know how it happened. The stakes are higher than you think. This isn't just about whether you make more money or whether you get the promotion or whether you start that business. This is about whether you live fully or die with your potential still inside you. This is about your kids watching you play small and learning to do the same. This is about your friends, your family, your community missing out on the gifts you were supposed to give because you were too scared to share them. Your playing small doesn't just hurt you. It hurts everyone around you who could have been inspired, helped, transformed by your courage. So I'm asking you, what's the cost of staying where you are? What's the cost of holding back for another year? Another 5 years? Another decade? It's not free. It's costing you joy. It's costing you growth. It's costing you memories you'll never get back. And the longer you wait, the heavier the cost becomes until one day you realize the bill is too big to pay. That's why this matters right now. That's why you can't afford to keep hesitating. Because the truth is, the clock is ticking whether you acknowledge it or not. The question is, are you going to use that time to step up, to take the risk, to live the life that's waiting for you? Or are you going to waste it playing safe and look back wishing you had just one more chance? You've been carrying this weight for years. The doubts, the fears, the stories that tell you why you can't. And maybe you've gotten so used to them that you don't even notice how heavy they've become. You wake up with them, you carry them through your day, you take them to bed at night. But here's the truth you need to hear. You don't have to keep living like this. You don't have to keep dragging chains behind you when freedom is right in front of you. There are principles, truths, shifts that can set you free, 15 of them, not theories, not fluff. Real truths that will shake you awake rip apart the lies you've been telling yourself and show you exactly how to step into the life you know deep down you're meant to live. Imagine having a roadmap that doesn't just inspire you for a moment, but actually gives you the tools to change, to break patterns, to rewrite your story. That's what we're talking about here. Because transformation isn't a mystery. It's not something reserved for the lucky few. It's not magic, it's a process. And once you understand it, once you apply it, you'll never see yourself the same way again. You'll start realizing that the limits you thought were real were just illusions, and you'll start tearing them down one by one. But here's what you have to know. This isn't about me. This isn't about some guru on a stage or some book you read. This is about you. This is about your life, your future, your potential. These truths are not meant to entertain you. They're meant to ignite you. They're meant to become part of you. Because when they do, you won't just think differently, you'll act differently. And when you act differently, everything around you begins to change. Picture this. What if 6 months from now you looked back on today and realized this was the moment it all shifted? What if this was the day you stopped listening to the old story and started writing a new one? What if you finally broke free from that invisible ceiling that's been keeping you down and you started living with the courage, the passion, the freedom you've been craving? That's what transformation looks like. And it's not some far off dream. It's possible, it's available, and it's waiting for you to claim it. These 15 truths are the key. Each one is like a strike of lightning designed to wake up a part of you that's been asleep. They'll challenge you. They'll push you. They'll confront you. But they'll also show you what's been missing, what's been holding you back, and what's possible if you finally step up. And let me tell you, this isn't about becoming someone you're not. This isn't about trying to be perfect or pretending to have it all together. This is about stripping away everything that isn't you, all the lies, all the fears, all the excuses, until what's left is the strongest, boldest, most authentic version of yourself. That version is already there. It's already alive inside you. These truths will help you unlock it, unleash it, and live it. So as we step into them, I want you to open yourself up fully. Don't listen with just your head. Listen with your heart, with your gut, with your soul. Let these truths hit you where you need them most. Let them break through the walls you've been hiding behind. Because this isn't just another talk. This is an invitation to change your life. This is a chance to stop holding yourself back and finally step into the growth, the power, and the freedom that's been waiting for you all along